Hi there, I'm Dr. Karen Kanowski. Today I am joined by a real hero of the pet world, Alpha Myceli. Alpha is the founder of a non-profit organization in Tanzania called Animal Smile Africa. Now, the organization provides veterinary services for pets in need in the area and also provides education and training to the local community as well as students of animal health and veterinary care. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I imagine you're a pretty busy guy.
Yeah, of course, but it's good to talk to people who are interested with what you're doing. So I said, whatever I do, I should have a time aside for you, Kylie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've been obviously having a look at all the work that you've been doing at Animal Smile Africa, and it's incredible. It really is.
Thank
It's
you
lovely
very
to
much.
see that it's more than just sort of providing vet care, and it's involving the whole community, really, isn't it?
Yeah. That's true. Very true, Kylie.
I mean, obviously, when people think of animals in Africa, their minds immediately go to things like lions and zebra and all that. But it's a bit like for me in Australia, people think, oh, kangaroos everywhere. But the
Yeah.
reality is the animals you're more likely to encounter are your dogs. And that's what you're working with sort of primarily, aren't you?
So uh, our story for Animals Smile Africa started when I was working with animal with Visele Life Crop Ski Training Center. So we are working with outreach program to give back to community while we provide hands-on skills to our students. So it happens we have monthly outreach program. So one it happened once when we were providing this outreach program when we ran out of resources and people started learning that we are providing free services. So we encountered a large number of animals. So it happened that day that we don't have drugs, we don't have whatever, and animal keep coming. So I said, you know what? We should have something to bring back smile to this animal. That's where animal smile came into my mind.
That's so
So
great.
with assistance with that Dr. Jerome Bahem, who was my mentor, and was the principal of that college. So she said, if you have this in your mind, so I can help you to make this happen.
Yeah.
So, and the good thing that in 2022, when we started, we visited by International Veterinary Outreach. So that was our first outreach program, 2022. So they came back 2023 and 2024. So we are glad that at least we have these one programs for Animal Smile Africa, where we training a veterinarian and paravet student while we are serving this underserved community.
Like obviously you've been working with this sort of animal care for, well, looks of things for years. What kind of drove you? What drives you to work with animals the way you are?
Okay, it's a long story, but
I love a long story.
yeah, I was when I was choosing my career, I was confusing whether to take human medicine, veterinary, or and mechanics. So I like mechanics. I like cars and riding motorcycles. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like okay, so
You get along very well with my husband.
thank you. So I was always visiting with my mom friends who was veterinarians, and she was owning a private school.
Mhm.
So she was very famous in our areas. And one day she was asking, what are you thinking about animal? I say, I don't know anything about animal. So I want to be maybe a human doctor or a mechanics. So, so we started conversation. Then she say, you can come to my school and you can try this, and you can have your option. If you feel something that is not yours, you can leave, or you can decide other career. So that's where I started learning about animals. So in our culture or in our society, animal we take just as if for example dogs as a guardian,
Mhm.
or if you keep maybe sheep or goat or whatever, is for profit.
Yeah,
So you cannot keep animal for just as a pet. Most
sure.
of the people they do so. So my mindset at back time then, I was looking animal as just something that like normal.
Yeah,
So when I go there, then he said you can start maybe your career with a certificate, then diploma, then you can decide whether you can go further with this. So when I sit on the class and start, she was teaching anatomy. I remember that time. So after the class, she come back and say, "What are you feeling? You know, what are you thinking now?" I said, "I
yeah.
love it because animal veterinarian or paravet school. When you are in class, you think like you are in a medical school or in a human medical school." So
Mhm.
I said, "It's cool." So when I started interacting with animals, is where I build a bond with animals.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it took me, yeah,
that's
that's where it
lovely.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you obviously it's sort of started out. That surprises me because it's so clear from what you do how passionate you are about working with the animals. So it's interesting that it's something that sort of you came to later rather than it being something you grew up with. Yeah,
You know, this the school. I'm a part of it, by the way. So the school where I started, and that late Dr. Bahem, rest in peace. So after school, then she said you can come because she saw my passionate about animals,
yeah,
and then she said if you are ready, we can work together here. You can mold other professional. You can stay here, and we can work together. So I stayed there almost 4 years. Then. So we had this outreach program. Then is where another story for Animal Smile Africa will come. But I stayed. Then I was just as a instructor at that school. It's called Visel
mhm.
Life Kopsky Training Center. So we just at that level we just do with pets and livestock. So I mean dog and cats and donkey and sometimes in cattle.
Okay, yeah, yeah. What do you? I mean, what do you enjoy most about what you're doing with Animal Smile?
Yeah, the smile of those individuals who came in with who are seeking medical attention for their pets. So when we treat animal, then the owner the satisfaction of the owner after what we do to the animal.
Yeah,
So it's combination of smile of furry friends and the owner.
yeah,
Uh, but the most important things I want I will be happy when I see the public is safe from this
yeah.
disease like rabies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're, not just, sort of working for the health of those animals. It's public health as well
Yeah,
that you're dealing with sort of rabies vaccinations and things like that people don't always think about.
yeah,
But I mean, the story you showed me was Malika, is that correct? Um,
yeah.
that was lovely. Like the story with him, he's gorgeous, and so she, the little dog. Um,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
and I
Kaila.
suppose it's moments like that kind of give you
Yeah, yeah,
that feeling of sort of, because I imagine it's in the kind of work you're doing, it can be easy to get like bogged down and think, oh my god, it's such a big problem, how am I going to make a dent in such a big sort of an issue? But I think you've got to focus on those individual stories, don't you, and sort of focus on the small differences you're making that will build up to that big difference.
yeah. Sure.
What I mean, we've sort of just mentioned like what you like about what you're doing. What do you sort of enjoy the least? What do you find hardest with what you're doing?
Yeah, of course. The attitude of community. So it's that perception that people are seeing because we have an outreach program, and we go to very disadvantaged community to provide free veterinary services. Then people they have not heard or seen the dog have been providing this kind of services. So they say we are seeking. We have so many people are seeking, and you are providing this to animal. So they thought like it's unfair. So
Yeah.
the moment like that, can yeah, you understand.
Yeah, yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be really hard. Sort of, yeah. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
understandable attitude,
Yes.
but are you seeing that start to change now?
Yeah, it's starting to change because we are now providing this education, because when you talk to them that you know about 70% of this non-infectious disease to human are coming from animal. For
Yeah,
example, now sometimes mpox came in. So if you tell them this is because animal are not getting the attention that they need, this
yeah,
is that is what come.
yeah,
So the understanding, and the okay, now we understanding is good. So we
yeah,
are trying to change, even if it's very slow, but
yeah.
at least yeah.
And I suppose when you think about, yeah, like your progression as well, yeah, it's not, if it's not something you're raised with, but there's often that natural affinity for animals. And I suppose once people start seeing them as more than just, oh, those annoying stray dogs or something, or a guard dog, it is a natural thing for us to form that bond. And obviously making that safer for people to do is the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's as I said, it's a really interesting viewpoint from, coming from obviously a part of the world where, I mean, yeah, we see our pets as our family. I mean, I've got 5 dogs, 5 cats somewhere around here. So, yeah. But interestingly, we still, it's funny, that divide, isn't it, between I'll see my dog as part of my family, but you'll still see livestock as a different thing. There's still that, but whereas obviously where you are, they're kind of viewed still more in that same kind of way that they're seen.
Perfection. Yeah.
What are your sort of, I guess, short-term plans? What have you got happening? Have you got anything particular coming up? Is there anything specific that you're kind of working toward in the short term with what you're doing with Animal Smile?
Yeah, in short term, we just want to increase our outreach programs to make sure that and to have often outreach programs, because
Yeah.
if you have single program for 6 months is it's not enough. So we want at least to have maybe 3 to 4 programs for a short period of time to
Mhm.
reach out to more people and dogs. But also we partner with that private school that I mentioned, a
Yep.
private school. So I was thinking we I just thinking that maybe we want to create a small like a kennel or something that can be, we can start rescuing some dogs, providing
Yeah.
vaccine and whatever. Then we can create kind of adoption system, because it's not happening here.
Yeah.
And this can be very important, because the student can learn, then can be taking care of these dogs, and can learn more practical, because some of paraprofessional are afraid of dogs, because it's not that much included in the syllabus of them.
Yeah.
So it can be like a training facility to these paravets, but also can be as a temporary home for this fur friend before they receive these adoption parents.
That
So
would be amazing.
yeah, yeah. But yes, yes.
And is that sort of part of, I guess, a bigger, longer term dream that you've sort of got in mind?
Yeah, a big long dream. I want to uplift veterinary services in this country by creating like a center which it can have a clinic, veterinary clinic, and it can have a session where young people can learn about grooming, dog
Mhm.
behavior, and whatever. So people and expertise can come all across the world and training the people and the veterinarian and paravets, so that we can uplift the veterinary services, and we can uplift the awareness of animal welfares. Because sometimes when we do this outreach program, we found some people which are very interesting with their dogs and they love their dogs, but the kind of standard and treatment that we have, or system of veterinary, is not satisfying to them. So there are kind of two people who they are not aware of what is going on about animal welfare, and there are another class of people who understand, and they see that the veterinary service is not that at that level which it should be, and
Yeah,
they are not happy with the treatment that they receive when they go to this clinic, because of lack of these skills that we have
sure. So yeah, you sort of end up people going further afield to get what they want rather than
yes.
improving what's happening there. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and maybe, for example, if we have this center where people across the world they become dog groomers, dog behavior professionals, so we can teach this young generation how to take care dogs, and this can increase compassionate and love too. So it can be we can improve animal health at the same time increasing animal welfare, but building the career of this young generation.
Yeah. No, that would be, yeah, it's incredible. And I suppose, I mean, like with anything, it's funding, isn't it? It's sort of funding, it's sponsorship, it's getting partnerships
Yes.
that can help sort of finance that.
We don't get fund for any from anyone within the country, uh,
Yeah.
because maybe we are starting just talking to some company which maybe can be interested, but people, you know, it's sometimes it's very hard, and you can understand them because we live in a community where sometimes life is hard, and so what they need to survive. So when it's come to animal, it's like obviously it will be the second option or the third option. So people are surviving for foods, and maybe for school fees, for
Mhm.
medical bills for themselves. So just we are trying to educate the communities and the government officials and whatever, but it's the level of awareness cannot come just overnight. So
No.
yes, we are thinking it will take a time, and so we are just focusing and trying to see if the fund from outside can
Yeah.
help us to navigate this. But
Yeah.
for now, we are just creating awareness
Yeah.
to officials, government officials, and the communities, and so that they can understand what we are doing. Maybe in the later they can provide fund.
Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight. You've got to start small. Um, but the hope obviously would be the bigger, if you do eventually get to that point where you've got an animal shelter or a veterinary clinic, that's that can only improve, job opportunities and the economy of the area as well. So it's even something that could almost be sort of an ambassador for, bringing people in and bringing and generating things for the community. Many, many years ago, my family, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, had they had a World Vision. It was just like a child sponsorship thing, and I mean this is going back many years for me. And strangely enough, it was a young chap from Arusha who we sponsored. And initially, sort of, you'd have people say, well, what's the point of sponsoring one child? But it's that, he was kind of the ambassador or the representative for his community, and it wasn't just Fidelis who was getting that. It was, it was, he was the face to his community. And strangely, I'm actually friends with him on Facebook now as well, 20 odd years later, which is an amazing thing. You think about it, like, but in a similar way, Animal Smile can be that for your
Yeah,
community. You know, it's not just funding animal care, it's funding the whole, you know, the whole area, isn't it?
yeah. That's interesting to see to hear that you know someone from Arusha. So
Yeah. One of these days, if I can get over there, then I've now got two people to visit.
yeah, sure.
I mean, I know you do accept sort of volunteers to help you guys. I mean, is that in terms of, do you have, you know, vets coming on, obviously, you know, helping out, or is it more just sort of, you know, people helping you with just day-to-day things? What kind of things would volunteers do if they were to come and help you guys?
Yeah, so we actually encourage if someone want to come to volunteer. So we just ask if he can be able to just if he can try to fundraise so that we can have a program. So, you know, we
Yeah,
don't have we don't have daily basis activities. Our activities depend on when we have some funds. We conduct the program. So sometimes we if she or she want to volunteer, we can see if we have a nearby we have coming events, or if
yeah,
not, so we just encourage you to wait if we have outreach program, or if she can or he can be able to fundraise so that we can have
yeah. Have
activities.
more of those. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
because we always want to connect with like-minded individuals so that we can accelerate and maybe collaborate or partner in the future, because this work need partnership, need collaboration, need cooperation.
Yeah.
So if we connect with people like you, is likely is obviously uh, good to us, and we are very glad and happy to connect with you, Kyla, and we hope that maybe in the future, near future or later, we can have some maybe program or whatever that can be arranged to
Yeah.
make the things happen.
And for, you know, from our side of it, it means a lot for us to be able to get the word out about programs like yours, the work you're doing. We want people to know about it. We want people to be able to come and support it as well. And so it's certainly our hope that in some small way we can help with that as well. And we'd love to, you know, to stay in touch and sort of see what happens down the road.
Yeah, it's not small at all. You know, to sharing stories with your audience. The, just when you are interested to something, this is a good thing. It's not that much small. So we really appreciate, and we are so glad that we connect with you and you are passionate to share our story.